Today's topic is exciting and something that caught my eye that I believe that it will be interesting to all of you out there that work with JavaScript. It's about object cloning, i.e. copying an object to another object, and how you can do it, especially deep cloning, without having to rely on libraries anymore. Cloning is fairly common in most languages out there, not just JavaScript. And there are two types of object cloning or object copying: the shallow copy and the deep copy. Before we do anything else, let's talk a little bit about copying. Now, shallow copies copy references of the original object. Therefore, if you change something in a shallow copy, then that change will also be reflected on the original object. Unlike shallow copy, with a deep copy or a deep clone, you get a brand new object that starts exactly the same as the original one, but it is totally independent. So any changes to that object will not be reflected to the underlying original object, to many objects. Let's see it in action. Shallow student is a shallow copy of student, and we're going to change the name to Pete. Now remember, we start with John, and the new name is Pete. Let's see what happens when we run it. Our student object started with the name John, but when we change the name property on the shallow copy, we got Pete. And because it was a shallow copy, the change of the property value got reflected on both objects. But what if we wanted to create a deep clone, another object that is a copy of the first one, but it's totally independent, nothing to do with the original object? For that, we can now use the structure clone function, which is native to Node as of 17.0.0, and that solves all the problems. Let's try it out. We now have a clone student, which will be the result of the structure clone method on the student. And we will change the name to Maria. We'll add an output as well, so we can see what happens. Let's run it. Remember, Pete and Pete is the original and the shallow copy. And now with the third, with a clone object, we changed the name to Maria, but that change did not get reflected anywhere else because it's a brand new object that has no references to the previous one. And there you have it. With the structure clone method, you can now create deep clone objects without relying on external libraries like Lodash or having to use JSON and stringifying objects in order for you to get a brand new copy. Easy as that. If you like this kind of content, follow me for more and let me know what you would like to see next.